Der Dharmakaya stand hell in der Morgendämmerung. Wir sitzen in Stille, unsere Herzen sind in Frieden. Ein Lächeln wird auf unseren Lippen geboren. Es ist ein neuer Tag, der Geburtstag vom Buddha. Wir wollen diesen Geburtstag vom Buddha in Achtsamkeit leben, so dass die Sonne der Weisheit überall erstrahlen wird. Edle Gemeinschaft bringen wir nun unseren Geist in Meditation. Namo Shakya Munaye Buddhaya.
Pháp ma thân tỏa sáng bằng tình tỏa lòng miệng mỉm cười. Ngày mới nguyện đi trong tình thức mặt trời tri tuệ Ngưỡng mong đại chúng tinh tiến nhiếp tâm thiện tập. Nam mô Sakyamuni Buddhaya. Nam mô Sakyamuni Buddhaya. Nam mô Sakyamuni Buddhaya. Gently coming back to my body and my mind. I enjoy my in-breath and my out-breath.
Sanft komme ik zu meinem Körper und mein Geist zurück. Und ich genieße meine Einatmung und meine Ausatmung.
It is a wonderful spring morning.
Heute ist ein wunderbarer Frühlingsmorgen.
It is cool, fresh.
Es ist frisch, kühl,
beautiful sunshine.
Wunderschöner Sonnenschein.
And it's so lovely to hear the music from the birds.
Und es ist so wunderschön, den Gesang der Vögel, die Musik von den Vögeln zu genießen, zu hören und zu genießen.
The nature is so beautiful. It's very easy to return to the present moment.
Die Natur ist wunderschön. Es ist so einfach, zurück zu uns zu kehren, zurück zu mir zu kehren.
It is so wonderful to feel the movement of my breathing.
Es ist so wunderbar, die Bewegung meines Atems zu fühlen.
I'm still alive. That is the great news.
Ich bin noch lebendig. Ich bin noch am Leben. Und das ist eine große Neuigkeit.
There are so many negative news in the internet, on the newspaper.
Es gibt so viele negative Nachrichten in den Zeitungen, in der Internet.
The war is going on everywhere.
Der Krieg ist überall.
So many negative conditions, negative circumstances around the world.
Es gibt so viele negative Bedingungen, so viele negative Ereignisse in der ganzen Welt.
And it is really a blessing that today I can sit peacefully here.
Und es ist wirklich eine Segnung, dass ich heute hier friedvoll sitze.
To feel myself and to feel my in-breath and my out-breath.
Mich selbst fühlen, meinen Einatmen und meinen Ausatmen fühlen.
It is really a joy to be here safely.
Es ist wirklich eine große Freude, hier in Sicherheit zu sein, in Sicherheit hier zu sitzen.
In this very wonderful present moment.
Und es ist ein wunderbarer Präsentmoment, wunderbaren Gegenwart.
There may be disaster, difficulty in the future.
Es gibt so viel Desaster, Zerstörung Schwierigkeiten in der ganzen Welt.
But now, I do not have any fear. That's great.
Und jetzt sitze ich hier. Ich habe überhaupt keine Angst. Und das ist großartig.
Enjoying deeply my in-breath, I breathe in.
Ich genieße sehr tief meinen Einatmen. Atme ich ein.
Enjoying deeply my out-breath, I breathe out.
Ich genieße sehr tief meinen Ausatmen. Atme ich aus.
It is so wonderful to breathe in deeply into my lower abdomen.
Es ist so wunderbar, tief in meinem Unterbauch einzuatmen.
It is so wonderful to relax my whole body with my breathing out.
Es ist so wunderbar, entspannt auszuatmen mit meiner Ausatmen.
Gently focusing my attention on my lower abdomen.
Sanft fokussiere ich meine Aufmerksamkeit auf meinen Unterbauch.
Feeling the movement of my lower abdomen.
Ich fühle die Bewegung meines Unterbauches
And enjoying my breathing.
und ich genieße meine Atmung.
Allowing the energy from the upper part of my body to sink down to my lower abdomen.
Ich erlaube die Energie in meiner Oberkörper nach unten zu sinken zu meinem Unterbauch.
allowing the whole body to relax.
Und ich erlaube dabei, meinen ganzen Körper sich zu entspannen.
It is so wonderful to be able to collect the energy into my lower abdomen.
Es ist so wunderbar, die Energie in meinem Oberkörper, in meinen Unterbauch anzusammeln.
It is so wonderful to focus on my lower abdomen and relaxing my whole body.
Es ist so wunderbar, meine Aufmerksamkeit zu meinem Unterbauch zu fokussieren und meinem ganzen Körper dabei entspannen.
Focused, collecting, relaxing.
Fokussieren, sammeln die Energie, entspannen.
Feeling my back, I breathe in.
Ich fühle meinen Rücken, atme ich ein.
Allowing my back to relax, I breathe out.
Ich erlaube meinem Rücken sich zu entspannen, atme ich aus.
Allowing the energy to flow from the top of my head all the way to my feet. And at the same time, this flow of energy relax my whole body.
Erlaube der Energie von den höchsten Punkt meines Kopfes, von dem Scheitel, durch den ganzen Körper hindurch zu fließen, zu meinen Füßen. Und dabei entspannt sich mein Körper.
A stream of relaxation going through from my head all the way to my toe.
Einen Strom der Entspannung fließt von dem Scheitel durch den Körper bis zu den Füßen.
the stream of energy rush through my body. At the beginning, the energy like a turbulent stream, but slowly, the stream becomes calmer, more peaceful.
Der Strom der Energie fließt durch meinen Körper. Am Anfang der Strom könnte turbulent sein, aber mit der Zeit, diesen Fluss der Energie ist dann friedvoller.
Become calmer and more quiet.
Ruhiger und stiller.
Allowing each part of my body to relax deeper and deeper.
Ich erlaube jedem Teil meines Körpers, sich zu entspannen, tiefer und tiefer entspannt.
Feeling the vibration of energy throughout the whole body and feeling so peaceful, so calm and relaxed.
Ich fühle die Vibration in meinem ganzen Körper und ich fühle mich so friedvoll, so entspannt.
My whole body is warm and so pleasant. Continuing to focus my attention gently on my lower abdomen.
Weiter meine Aufmerksamkeit sanft auf meinen Unterbauch fokussieren.
And allowing the whole body to relax.
Und erlaube meinem ganzen Körper, sich zu entspannen.
Feeling the warmth and pleasantness in my whole body.
Ich fühle die Wärme, ich fühle angenehm in meinem ganzen Körper.
And allowing this process to become deeper and deeper.
Und erlaube diesem Prozess tiefer und tiefer zu werden.
At the same time, open the awareness to everything surrounding us.
Und gleichzeitig öffnen wir unseren Gewahrsein zu allen Dingen uns herum.
My body is filled with the pleasantness.
Mein Körper ist gefüllt mit angenehmer
And my mind is free from pain, sorrow, or desire.
und mein Geist ist frei von Sorgen, von Ängsten, von Verlangen.
Completely free.
Mein Geist ist vollkommen frei.
At home, when we have more time, we can deepen our state of relaxation and pleasantness in the body and in the mind.
Zu Hause, wenn wir mehr Zeit haben, wir können diese Meditation weiterführen, sodass wir diesen Zustand der Entspanntheit, der Annehmlichkeit und dann Fokussieren weiter vertiefen können.
The meditation up to this point help to heal all of the sickness in the body.
Diese Meditation bis zu diesem Punkt hilft dann, alle Krankheit im Körper und Geist zu heilen.
the meditation up to this point help to free our mind from all the view.
Die Meditation bis zu diesem Punkt hilft dann, unseren Geist zu befreien. Befreien von allen Ansichten.
From all of the preconceived idea.
Von allen verurteilten Ideen.
From this step on, we can use this state of clarity of the mind to look into different issues of our life.
Und von diesem Punkt haben wir einen klaren Geist und wir können dann unseren Geist richten in verschiedenen Aspekten unseres Lebens.
In the case of the Buddha, from this point on, he looked deeply into his past life.
Und im Fall von Buddha, von diesem Punkt, schaut zurück zu all seinen früheren Leben.
And because of his merit in the practice for infinite lifetime,
und weil so viel spirituellen Verdienst hatte in seinem früheren Leben,
when he directed his mind into his past life, he was able to see all of his life in the past, an infinite life
deshalb,
cycle.
wenn mit seinem Geist zurückschaute in seine Vergangenheit, dann sieht alle seine früheren Lebens bis zu unendlichen Lebens.
In our case, we can direct our mind to our past event in this lifetime.
Und für unseren Fall, wir können unseren Geist richten in unserer Vergangenheit, in diesem Leben. Verschiedenen Situationen in der Vergangenheit, in unserem Leben.
And to understand deeply the condition that have brought our life forward.
Damit können wir verstehen die verschiedenen Bedingungen, die dazu geführt haben, zu unserem Leben.
How our childhood was like.
Wie unsere Kindheit war.
How our teenager was like.
Wie unsere Pubertät war, Jugendlichkeit.
And different stages of life condition the next stages of life.
Und verschiedene Zustände des Lebens bedingen dann die nächste Situation in unserem Leben.
All of the activity of the mind, of my speech, and my physical act condition the next stages of my life.
Alle Karma von Gedanken, von Rede und von Handlung bedingen dann meine Zukunft und meine Gegenwart und meine Zukunft. Verursachen die Zustände, die ich jetzt habe.
And one stage of life condition another stage of life without our knowing.
Und ein Zustand des Lebens verursacht den nächsten Zustand des Lebens, ohne dass wir das wissen.
We just follow it like a stream of event.
Wir folgen immer nur weiter, dieser Strom der Ereignisse.
recognize this confusion and without clarity, the Buddha wake up.
Wenn der Buddha das erkannt, diese Verwirrung, diese Unwissenheit, dann ist erwacht.
He really see how the whole cycle, the vicious cycle of life was formed, was created.
Hat wirklich erkannt, wie dieser ganze Zyklus des Lebens entsteht, wie dieser ganze Zyklus des Lebens geformt wurde.
He wake up and he became the Buddha.
Ist erwacht und wird zu dem Buddha.
He see it's useless to continue the cycle.
Findet, das ist wirklich sinnlos, diesen Zyklus, diesen Kreislauf weiter zu machen, weiter zu leben.
He wake up and he was able to stop all of his craving and thirst for the next becoming.
Ist aufgewacht, erwacht und ist in der Lage zu stoppen alle seine Begierde, seine Durst,
for the next becoming.
Für das nächste Werden. Sein Verlangen nach dem nächsten Werden.
He experienced a state called Nirvana.
Und hat einen Zustand erfahren. Dieser Zustand heißt Nirvana.
That is a state where the mind completely free from all the grasping, craving.
Das ist der Zustand. Nirvana ist der Zustand, wenn der Geist vollkommen aufhört, nach Greifen, nach Festhalten, nach Begehren.
His mind is completely free.
Sein Geist ist vollkommen klar,
Free.
vollkommen frei.
A Buddha is born on this earth at the end of this meditation.
Ein Buddha ist geboren am Ende dieser Meditation.
Today we celebrate the birthday of the Buddha.
Heute feiern wir den Geburtstag vom Buddha.
It has both of the meaning, that is the birth of a baby Buddha.
Das hat zwei Bedeutungen. Eine, der Geburt von einem Baby Buddha.
In the real sense of a woolly baby.
In wirklicher Sinn von einem wirklichen Mensch, wirklich Baby, wirklich Buddha.
Normal.
Ein normaler Baby.
And another dimension is the birth of a real Buddha,
Und
an awakened one.
In andere Dimension, heute, der Geburtstag von Buddha, hat die Bedeutung, das ist die Geburt von einem Buddha, von einem erwachten Mensch, einem erwachten Wesen.
So in the Buddhist tradition, on the birthday of the Buddha, we celebrate both dimensions of the Buddha.
Und in der buddhistischen Tradition, wir feiern beide Dimensionen der Geburt von einem normalen Baby und der Geburt von einem großen, erwachten Wesen.
It's wonderful to welcome a Buddha into our world.
Es ist wunderbar, ein Buddha in unseren Welt willkommen zu heißen.
Allowing the feeling of happiness to permeate through my whole body with this event.
Erlauben dem Gefühl des Glücks, der Freude in unserem ganzen Körper durchzudringen für dieses Ereignis.
Feeling so joyful and feeling so happy.
Ich fühle mich sehr freudvoll. Ich fühle mich sehr glücklich.
I'm so happy and joyful because the Buddha already succeeded his task, his enlightenment.
Ich fühle mich so freudvoll. Ich fühle mich so glücklich. Denn Buddha ist erfolgreich. Seine Aufgabe, der Buddha ist gelungen, seine Aufgabe zu machen.
To reach his enlightenment.
Und die Erleuchtung zu erlangen.
The Buddha can do it, and I can also do it.
Der Buddha kann das tun und ich kann das auch tun.
It might not be in this lifetime, but it could be in many lifetimes to come.
Wenn ich nicht schaffe, in diesem Leben ein Buddha zu sein, dann werde ich es schaffen in den nächsten Leben.
I feel so joyful and happy for this wonderful chance, wonderful opportunity.
Ich fühle mich so glücklich, so freudvoll für diese Gelegenheit, für diese Chance, ein Buddha zu werden, ein Buddha zu sein.
Feeling my whole body, I breathe in.
Ich fühle meinen ganzen Körper, atme ich ein.
Relaxing my whole body, I breathe out.
Ich entspanne meinen ganzen Körper, atme ich aus.
Aware of my in-breath, I breathe in.
Ich bin mir meines Einatems bewusst, atme ich ein.
Aware of my out-breath, I breathe out.
Ich bin mir meines Ausatems bewusst, atme ich aus.
In, out.
Ein, aus.
Dear respected Thầy, dear respected brother and sister here in EIAB as well as online. Today is a very wonderful day that we open up the institute for the public to come and to celebrate the Buddha's birthday. It has been more than 2 years since 2020 in March when we have to close down. And now it has been more than 2 years. It's so wonderful to be able to be together and to celebrate the Buddha birthday. in the last few days here in the Institute, we have a course that is the time for me and having the inner clarity through meditation. Inner clarity is something that we all need, especially nowadays, with so much confusion, difficulty around the world. Since the time the Buddha was born and after his enlightenment until now, there are also many wars and difficulty for the last 2,500 years. And Thầy, our teacher, used to say that one Buddha is not enough. We need many Buddha to help this world. One Buddha is not enough. To celebrate the Buddha's birthday is to celebrate the chance that we can also become a Buddha, to help the world, to save the world in some way. What did the Buddha find out? And that we can have a message, a hopeful message for the future. What did he find out? And what can we learn from him so that we can have a positive outlook into the future? The Buddha was born as a baby, a normal human baby, like all of us. 2,500 years ago. In the Mahayana Buddhism, there is a story about the miraculous that the Buddha had, the miraculous power that the Buddha had as a Buddha. And we talked about it last year in our Buddha birthday Dharma talk. And you might want to look at it again to enjoy another aspect of the Buddha, the very powerful and quality from the perspective of Mahayana Buddhism. This year, concerning the war in Ukraine and concerning the pandemic, that having a long-lasting effect until now, and all of the difficulty around the world, I ask myself, what kind of teaching that of the Buddha? What was his discovery that can help the world? We had gone through the Renaissance period, and then the Industrial Revolution, the Enlightenment period in the West. And we have the tendency to become very rational. We have to think everything from our head. And religion is something that we feel that is not need for our time. Especially strong belief, extremist, fundamentalist might not be good for a rational society. And in the 20th century, as well as the 21st century, there is this movement of atheism. The people believe that it's only this life. Atheism. The scientists, the materialists, believe that the mind is a product of the brain is an emergent property of the brain. And outside our physical body, outside the material world, there's nothing else. And the worldview is very limited. The worldview is very limited. We are born at a certain time. We live. We earn the money. We marry. And then one day we die, and that's it. Nothing else is left. That is the materialist view and the atheist view. Our life will end it here on earth, and that's it. No more life. What happened after we pass away? Nobody knows. But one of the possibility that the atheism and atheists said is that, well, everything is material. It's made up of we are living in a material universe. There's nothing else beside this material universe. And this worldview, this outlook, in Buddhism we call it the view of annihilationism. One of the view is eternalism. One of the view is permanent, everlasting eternalism. Eternalism. That means deep within us there is a self that is fixed, permanent, nothing change. And this self continue to exist, and it go through from one lifetime to the next lifetime, remain the same. That is eternalism. And another view is annihilationism. Annihilationism. That means after we pass away, that's it. There is completely end. And here, something continuous. During the time of the Buddha, people begin to observe a phenomena, very interesting phenomena. The phenomena that there are children or there are people by some way, some chance that they remember their past life. They claim that they remember their past life. You can go, come in. You can go, yeah, you can go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there is this phenomena that there are children, there are people who claim that they remember their past life. And they describe things very vividly, very clear, and it seemed to be very real. So during the time of the Buddha, there is this speculation, or there's this suggestion that there's not only one life, but there are infinite life. And this infinite cycle of birth is from one perspective, it is very depressive. Because if life is full of suffering, and if we have to go through again and again this cycle of suffering, then it's very depressive. It's better to have only one life rather than continue forever. Nowadays, there are many billionaires and people who are rich. They have a very good life. They want to continue on. They want to live forever. They find the kind of medicine and kind of technology, even nanotechnology, in order to prolong their life. Because they enjoy life so much, because they are rich, they have power, they have everything. So to have a infinite rebirth, or not to have an infinite rebirth, is something that we need to find out for ourselves. We have to find out for ourselves. In my case, I had difficulty with the theory of rebirth. Because yes, perhaps there is evidence, there are research, but it seems like the proposal from the materialist, from atheists, it seems to be very plausible, very possible too. And there are Buddhist scholars who have done the research, and from their research, they provide evidence that perhaps this theory about rebirth is not something that the Buddha did. It's just a later development, perhaps. So I follow being a scientist before I became a monk. And I trust science very much. For many years, I have difficulty with this rebirth theory, or the fact about rebirth. I had difficulty. And in my pilgrimage to India in 2013, some of our friends are here who have gone with me to India 2013. And during that trip, in all of my talk, I proposed that perhaps there's no rebirth. Perhaps there's no rebirth. And there is only this metaphor about rebirth. And a few friends, few Vietnamese friends who went with me on the trip, they said, before I come to India with you, I believe in rebirth, and now everything disappeared. I feel so sad. I should have not gone with you for a pilgrimage to India. So in my Dharma talk today, I publicly apologize to all of our friends who went with me to India in 2013 that I was wrong. I was wrong. That the idea that there's no rebirth is a wrong idea. It's really wrong. With further practice, further study, and experience meditative state, now I have the conviction that it's really, we will have rebirth for sure. We will have infinite life. Not just one single life, but we do have infinite life. And it is to see that there is infinite life is a fruit of the enlightenment of the Buddha. Before that, it was a speculation, it was a theory, it's a worldview that some people have. But with his enlightenment, the Buddha confirmed the fact that there is rebirth in his meditation. What are the paths that lead the Buddha to this deep conviction and this deep discovery that there is rebirth? What did he do? Exactly. What was the path that that lead him to this discovery? This morning, before the city meditation, I feel so inspired with the nature. The nature is so beautiful. The birds are singing, the beautiful sunshine, gentle breeze, and it's so pleasant. It's very wonderful, pleasant spring morning. And according to the autobiography of the Buddha, when he talked about his search for enlightenment in different sutta, he said that he, after 6 years of his search, he came to the point of about to die because he practiced some form of fasting. So he was destroying his body, and his body become ruined. According to the description in the sutra, when he sit down on the sand, his two hip bone pressed on the sand like two feet of the camel. 2 feet of the camel. And his head, the skin of his head is so dry, when he touch his head, the hair will fall down. And the skin of his head wrinkle is a melon that is put a long time in the sun. The skin become wrinkled up. And he was very skinny, that when he touched his belly, he was able to touch his spinal cord. And when he touched his spinal cord, he was able to touch his belly, massage his belly. So he became very weak, and he was about to die. Then, before he died, before he fainted, he remembered a scene in his childhood when he was about 9 or 10 years old. That he was sitting under a rose apple tree, and it was a beautiful spring morning, and it feels so peaceful, so calm, and he's in the state of mind that is very alert, with a lot of clarity, and there's a lot of peacefulness in his body and his mind. So he realized that for the last 6 years of his search, he had gone on the wrong path. He had gone the wrong path. And what was wrong with his approach for the last 6 years on his search? for the last 6 years of his search, he had the idea that the body is the problem. And we need to get rid of the problem. We need to get rid of the body. The body is the source of all of the unwholesome things. And fasting to destroy the body. So hopefully he can reach this liberation only by the mind. And other type of meditation that he learned from other teacher also has to do with the mind. But by fasting to the point of about to die, he discovered that he had gone on the wrong path. And he remembered when he was a young child, he was in the good health. He was in a good state of the body and the mind. And he discovered that the key to the enlightenment is to return to the body. To return to the body. Because this is the body that sustains our life, and the body that have the energy. It has when it's strong and healthy, and it is transformed, then there will be enough energy for spiritual attainment. So the Buddha, from this experience of the little child underneath the rose apple tree, he devised a scheme of meditation. He devised a scheme of meditation. This scheme of meditation is called the jhana. The jhana. Jhana is translated roughly would be meditation, meditative practice. In the Sanskrit is dhyana, and in Chinese is a chan, and in Japanese it's zen, and in Vietnamese it's called thiền. But jhana. This scheme of the practice help the Buddha have a full developed body, and help the Buddha have a fully developed mind. This meditative technique, jhana, help to nourish the energy in his body, healing his body, transform his body, so that the body become strong, healthy, and full of energy, and the mind is clear and without grasping. If you look into the literature and to the commentary literature of the Theravada tradition, then you will see that the spirit of the jhana had been changed over 2,500 years. There are the debate that people didn't know whether jhana was really discovered by the Buddha or not, or it's just a meditative technique that he learned from the past. But this meditative techniques was spoken for at least 87 times in different sutra in the Bali Canon. About 87 times the Buddha described about this technique of jhana. And because the technique seemed to be from the description in the sutra, it seems to be very simple. And if it is simple like that, how can it lead to enlightenment? So I think people try to work it out so that jhana become more complicated. Because you only become enlightened when things are complex. That is the idea that we have. You need to have a PhD in Buddhist study in order to practice Buddhist practice. But actually, in the spiritual practice, it's a bit different. Your mind needs to be very simple. And the practice needs to be simple for you to reach the enlightenment, not the other way. You need to have a simple mind. You need to have a simple life. You need to have simplicity in order to reach the highest. Not having the complex mind that you will reach the enlightenment, but having the most simple mind that you can reach enlightenment. The technique of jhana is that the Buddha described that we learn to return to ourselves, feel ourselves, go back home, go back to this body, and learn to be at peace with this body. In our body, there's all kind of conflict. There is the blockage of energy that is not resolved. There are pain. There are knot of energy in the body that is tightened up because the way we live and because of our karmic activity. The Buddha later on, he teach about the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path has 8 factors. On this side of the manifestation, I call it the young manifestation. There's a right intention of thought, right speech, right activity, right action, right livelihood. This is the external manifestation of our life. And there is an internal manifestation of our life on this side. The internal manifestation of our life is right effort, right mindfulness, right collectedness, and right view. With the external manifestation of our life, that is our thinking, our speech, our action, and the way we live, there's accumulated block of energy within us. Negative block of energy. There's different knot. There's different knot. And the jhana technique is the technique that we go into the internal domain and learn to resolve this block of energy within. So, in the first jhana, we learn to sink down. We learn to come back, bring the mind back to ourselves. Bring the mind to the body. Bring the mind to the body. Our mind is scattering everywhere, like a butterfly flying, looking for different objects. The nature of our mind, the Buddha described as the nature of a monkey. The monkey used one hand to one limb to grasp onto a branch And then it will use another limb, another hand to grasp another branch, and it release this hand, and it will move and it grasp another branch, and this is continuous. So the monkey moves through the forest by grasping one branch, using the other hand to grasp another branch, and doing like this, just like the Tai Chi movement. And that is the state of our mind. State of our mind is to look for an object of grasping. Perhaps you have the experience that at night you are alone in your apartment or your house, and you are so lonely, you turn on the TV. You look at the TV, but it doesn't satisfy you, and you have a remote control. You switch to the next channel, and then the next channel does not satisfy you. You move to the next channel, and you keep moving one channel to another channel. The same thing when you go to the internet. You search for one site, one web page, and you just look at it for 1 or 2 seconds, and then you move to the next web page, and they call it surf internet, to surf the web. That is the state of our mind. And what is the practice of the jhana? How can we become a Buddha? How can we find the way out? We find the way out by bringing the mind back to ourselves, to be with this body, to accept this body, to accept our condition like it is. Only by accepting our body the way it is, there's a chance for us to heal it. We think that the solution is outside our body. And that's what the Buddha did for the first 6 years of his search. He thinks that the solution is outside, in different kind of imagination by the mind. But no. When the mind can return to the body, to be with the body, that is the key to enlightenment. That is the beginning of liberation. Come back to body. Feel it, embrace it with love. And this is a process that it takes time to develop for us to come back. It's not easy to bring the mind back to the body, because just like the monkey, we are ready to grasp another branch. We are ready to grasp another object. Someone says something, right away we feel irritated. And then we respond, and then the other person says something else, then we become more angry. And then we have not finished our anger yet. Another person come by and invite us to go for a movie. And right away we jump onto the bus and ready to take off for the movie. The movie is done, and then another person come by and invite us for a party at night. And right away we jump on, and we keep moving like that. We keep running away from ourselves. We're running away from who we are. So the first process, the first elements for a Buddha to be born is learning to come back to ourselves. This is a struggle. And so you can think like this. This is your body. You are a beautiful lady or gentleman sitting in the sitting position. And your mind is like a little ball here, running everywhere. Small ball. This small ball is running everywhere. different kind of grasping. And then when you begin to return to your body, what you in fact do is you allow these bubble on the top of your head to settle down on your body. And these bubbles flying everywhere around is a state of the mind. One state of the mind that you notice in the first jhana. And you are practicing something called the right effort or right energy. That is the effort to bring these bubbles that flying everywhere to touch the body. To touch the body. So after some right effort, some right diligence, this bubble, for example, come and touch the body. This bubble come and touch the body. This bubble come and touch the body. This bubble come down and touch the body. And every time a bubble come and touch the body, the bubble burst. You get out of your trap from your little thought. When you come back to your body and you feel it, this little bubble that trap you in a little thinking, little desire, little irritation, little aggression, the moment that you can come back to your body and feel your body, these trap burst. And this moment when the bubble touch the body, that is the moment of joy. Of joy. Joy, and you feel joy and happiness that is born when the mind slowly come back to the body. So there is element of joy and there's an element of happiness. There is element of joy and happiness when these little bubble of the mind are able to descend or to touch the body. The image is like a butterfly landed on a flower. Before that, the butterfly is flying everywhere. If you read the sutra and you read the translation, this butterfly flying everywhere, they call it the initial thought. And when the butterfly was able to touch the body, they call it the sustained thought. But actually, it is the mind, it's not the thinking, it's not the thought. When we use the language, it's quite misleading. It's quite misleading. And if we don't really practice, then we don't really know what the sutra was talking about. Because we have to use language in any way to describe it. It's the state of the mind. It's the state of our mind. It's not a single thought or a single way of thinking. But that is how our mind operates. Our mind going everywhere. Now we bring our mind back to the body. And when the mind slowly settle on the body, I use the word settle, like the butterfly settle on the flower, then joy and happiness is born. This process will continue on when all of these little bubbles settle down around and our mind is there with the body. We move to the second jhana. That is the unification of the mind and the body. Unification because the mind is settled there with the body. And you feel a unity, a wholeness. You don't have this feeling of reality anymore. The mind is there together with the body as one reality. It's very good feeling that you are there. You feel it. Just like when you are standing outside the house, you know that you are standing outside the house. The moment that you go into the house, then you know that you are inside the house. The same thing. Before, when you practice, you will see your mind scatter everywhere. The moment you can bring your mind to the body, slowly, slowly touch down, and you feel that your mind is there with the body. It's that the mind and the body are together. It's one single reality. Very beautiful feeling. You know that you are home. And this is the stage that Plum Village practice that Thầy, our teacher, try to introduce us to. I have arrived, I'm home. I have arrived, I'm home is the touchdown of the butterfly on the flower. So Plum Village tradition practice, focus here. Focus at the second stage of the jhana. I have arrived, I'm home. Learn to be there in the present moment. Learn to be there fully for what is going on inside and outside of us. And the second jhana is the appearance of mindfulness. And in the other Dharma talk, I said mindfulness is the boundary between the inside and the outside. And at this boundary, we are able to know what is going on inside us, and we know what is going on outside us. And we are united, mind, body united. And then, the third jhana. Inside the meditation, it will be much easier to do. In our daily life, we can practice I have arrived, I'm home, all the time. We practice mindfulness in our daily life. When we eat, when we walk, when we do in our work, in our daily life. So then it's possible to maintain the second stage of jhana in our daily life. For the third jhana, you need to practice sitting meditation. You need to practice sitting meditation for the energy to collect. So at this level of practice, that is the beginning of mindfulness, right mindfulness. And the third jhana is when you are able to collect the energy in the body. You collect the energy in the whole body. In the whole body. If you learn to gently focus your mind underneath your lower abdomen, gently focus there and allow the energy to sink there, collecting the energy. Then slowly, the energy here will accumulate stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger. There are Tibetan monks. They practice very well and they can collect the energy that they can they can sit in the snow without being cold. They are able to collect the energy, and the energy from here again to become redistributed throughout the whole body and protect the body. And this is the state of the beginning of right collectedness. Right collectedness. This stays here. This stays here. This right collectedness is the state of the third jhana. Right collectedness, many times people identify it with just jhana in the general. So there's different degree of being collectedness. Different degree of collectedness. When we are able to bring the mind to the body, that is collectedness already. Unification of the mind, the body, that is already collectedness also. Collecting the energy in the whole body is also right collectedness. But for the sake of explanation, the third jhana is the key for the right collectedness. That means it's the maximum of collectedness. The maximum in which you are able to accumulate the energy in the body. When you practice, you will feel it. You feel tired, you feel exhausted, but the moment you can collect your energy, certainly you become alive again. You become strong. The energy is transformed. There is a different quality of life, a quality of being. You might be exhausted, but when you reach the third jhana, your whole body is so pleasant. The pleasantness fills your whole body. And your whole body is so relaxed. And you feel so good in the whole body. In this stage of the practice, the blockage of energy, the pain, the sorrow that result from the stress, that result from the unwholesome karmic activity is now begin to resolve, begin to melt it. Our block of sadness that have been deposited into our lungs. The Chinese, they said it. Our block of grief that has been deposited in our lung physically. Our internal organ is where different block of negative energy, of the mental energy is collected. The Chinese medicine, they believe that it's the liver. The liver is where the negative energy of anger being collected. The stomach is where the energy of being anxious, has been collected in the stomach, and so on. So when you are able to bring the energy to the body, and the energy begin to move, internally, your organ will be transformed. Automatically, you become much healthier. You become to heal different sickness in the body automatically. You don't need to do anything special. You just need to collect the energy, that's all. Our body has its own intelligence. And that intelligence, when we allow it to be, the body will heal itself. And that is the third jhana. At the fourth jhana is that when the third jhana is the energy collect in the body and your whole body is healed, is transformed, resolved. The fourth jhana has to do with the mind, in which the mind is fully free from pain and sorrow. Pain and sorrow. All of the mental pain is transformed in the fourth jhana. There's no more mental pain or the mental pleasure. The mind is completely equal, neutral to all of the event of life. Many times we have the tendency to grasp on our idea, our notion, our belief, our opinion, our abstraction. And this grasping on our idea, this grasping on our notion, all of that will create pain and sorrow or pleasure. The pain and the pleasure due to the grasping onto the mental activity is released in the fourth jhana. And here is the practice of right view. What is right view? Right view is that it doesn't mean that you don't have any view. Yes, you do have view. But you are not grasping onto your view. And that's called right view. That means you are able to look at every aspect of life with an eyes of equanimity. The eyes of equanimity. So when the Buddha reached this state of the mind, he is prepared to discover. So the fourth jhana, the four jhana are the four techniques that help to prepare our body and our mind for discovery. Because our body is fully calm and peaceful, our mind is completely equal, completely neutral, without any grasping, without any preconceived idea. But we learn to look at things directly as it is. We learn to look at things the way it is, as it is, without any preconceived idea. And the Buddha prepared his body and his mind. And at the stage 4 of the jhana, he's ready to look into the problem of birth and death. Once he was able to prepare his body and his mind, with his calm, flexible mind, very open mind, he looked into his past life. The Buddha was someone who have attained or who have received all the fruit of spiritual life for many lifetimes. So, reaching the fourth jhana, he was able to, his mind is very strong, and he was able to direct his mind into his past life, and he recalled all of his past life. He recalled all of his past life. He remembered where he was born, he grew up, he passed away, and then he was born again. He lived that type of life. Then he passed away. He see the whole stream of life. He remembered not only one life, one past life, but 5 past life, 10 past life, 1,000 past life, 100,000 past life, infinite past life, infinite cycle of the universe. Infinite cycle of the universe. He remembered them all. He was very amazed by this fact. According to the sutta, he attained this kind of knowledge in the first watch of the night of enlightenment. That night, he looked back to all of his life, and in the first watch of the night, from 9 to 12 o'clock at night, also. And he was able to attain this fruit of his practice. And in the past, I was very doubtful. How can in 3 hours the Buddha can remember the infinite life with the infinite cycle of the universe? That is our logical thinking that have the tendency to look at things like that. But actually, it is a direct experience. It's a direct experience when the energy in the body and the energy in the mind is ready. You can see it. You can see it with your own eyes. There are students of the Buddha who can remember a few lifetimes. But only the Buddha who can remember infinite life. The Buddha was very amazed, and he asked, what lead me? What are the mechanisms that lead from one life to the next life? What is it? What are the mechanisms that lead you here to the Buddha's birthday? Either on Zoom or here in the EIAB. What are the mechanisms? He looked and he see that different living beings are born and they do certain kind of activity, the karmic activity. And these karmic activity in turn will make them into another life. And then in that particular life, they will do a certain karmic activity. And these karmic activity will lead them into another life and into another life, infinite circle of life, due to the link of all of these karmic activity. And what is the link from one karmic activity to the next karmic activity? It is our intention. It's our intention. Our intention creates a direction. It creates a direction for us to flow into. It is the mind. That is, the intentional mind is the key. The intentional mind is the karmic force that lead us from one life to the next life. It is our intention that lead us from one life to the next life, from one activity to another activity, and things keep rolling like that. It was karmic formation that moved us from one life to the next life. And looking at that, the Buddha realized, oh no, I am like a puppet pulling by a string without knowing. I am like, the puppet. There's on the top, there's a little string moving the puppet around. The Buddha realized that it was the karmic formation that moved me from one life to the next life. But I didn't know the mechanism of this. He discovered the karmic law of the nature. Nowadays, scientists also discover these karmic law, but it is a natural law, natural dependent co-origination. But the Buddha discovered not only the natural condition, but it's the mental condition that play a very important role, beside from the material condition. So the Buddha discovered a causation because of the mind. It's the mental causation, and there are natural causation. The Buddha discovered that oh, it is my mind that leads me from one life to the next life. I didn't know. I didn't know that. And after seeing that, looking to all of these life, repeating again and again, he have gone through all these life in the past. He was the king, he was the prince, he was the queen. Then he come down and he become the servant, he become the slave, or become different kind of manifestation, and come back. And that time he was in the God realm. He see all of that in the front of his eye. And you know what he said? I've seen them all. I have experienced them all. I have enough. I have enough. Why do I still go around in this infinite cycle of rebirth in which I have experienced all? I have experienced to be a king. I have experienced like a god. I have experienced like a slave. I have experienced like this kind of life and so on. The Buddha said, that's enough. I have enough. And that thing in the third watch of the night, and now the knowledge, got the knowledge of ending all of affliction. At that time, he became a Buddha. He became a Buddha when he say, that's it. Done. I have enough. I'm get out of here. I have enough. I have seen enough. All of these things flashing around. The Buddha become a very special person. A Buddha is the one who wake up to the cycle of rebirth. And he was able to say, that's enough. I don't want to move on anymore. And he become a Buddha. That means all of the cycle of pain and suffering now have a chance to rest. He reached a state called Nirvana. Nirvana is the state in which we learn to let go all the grasping, all of the searching, all of the ignorance. We have the full understanding, full insight into the cycle of birth and death, to the nature of life. And this cosmic vision, this worldview, make him a Buddha. The infinite cosmic vision of rebirth make the Buddha a Buddha. And that is the teaching that the Buddha share with us. If we want to continue the cycle of rebirth, fine, go ahead and do it. But if you want to get out, then there's a chance. If you want to reach Nirvana, there's a chance. But if you want to enjoy the samsara, there is a perfume called samsara. If you want to enjoy the perfume samsara, you are most welcome. And that is something that is missing nowadays in our spiritual life. Many of us do not believe in rebirth anymore. Many of us cannot experience that, cannot see that, and we believe that it does not exist. We lose this cosmic vision. We lose this cosmic order of things. And then we fight, we kill each other for the satisfaction of this life only on earth. But whatever we do will lead us to another life. If we kill without intention, then this intention of killing will lead us to another life in which we will be killed. That is something that is very natural. It's not something superstitious or mystical about it. If we want to kill, yes, one day we will be killed. That is the law of life. The Buddha said that hatred cannot resolve hatred. Only love can resolve hatred. And nowadays, in the world, there are so much hatred. Because we don't see that when we respond with hatred, what we gain is hatred. Only by love, by coming back and resolving this samsara, this cycle of suffering, that is the way out. If the world leader, like Putin, know about this teaching of rebirth, if Putin by chance know that his act of causing the suffering for other people, sooner or later he will reap this effect himself. He will wake up, and we will have a different world. And we need all wake up so that we can have a different world. And today is the Buddha birthday. It's a chance for us to wake up, to see that our life is much more than this life on earth. Our life contains infinite life. Even when this earth is completely destroyed in the next few billion years, because the collapse of the solar system, our collective consciousness, we move on to look for another planet. That is the nature. We do not end it here with life on earth. We float around in the universe for the next planet so that life can be possible. That's what the Buddha discovered. In his enlightenment, he saw different cosmic cycle. He see the cosmic collapsing, expansion, and again he had gone through all of these cycle, cosmic cycle. It was it was reported like that in the sutra, and I think that it is what he experienced is valid. It's just that we don't see it yet, so that we cannot believe it. But luckily, we have someone who has experienced that, who have witnessed this infinite cosmic cycle of birth and death. And we belong to that cosmic vision. So happy Buddha birthday to all. And I hope that this Dharma talk give you some inspiration for coming back to yourself, to have time for yourself, and to have some inner clarity through meditation. And meditate on the cosmic vision, infinite cycle of birth and death is a deep meditation. And we can only find out when we are able to go through the jhana practice. It is a direct experience. It's not something that we can convince ourselves without direct experience. Thank you. We end it here.